Hakadosh Boker Or Masechet Nazir Daf Samech Amud Aleph Chodesh Tov, right? 68:1. We say in the Gemara. Yesterday we just learned about the Mishnah, the entire concept of a Nazir Vadai, meaning a for sure Nazir, that he became Safek Mitameh, meaning he's only a doubt whether he's Tameh or not, and he's a doubt whether he's a Mitzorah or not. So he said he could only eat Kochim after 60 days, but he could only be Mitameh Mitim or drink wine after 120 days. And we explained yesterday why. Tana, we learned in a Braita, says the Gemara. By Medvar, when one of these words, Nazirut Muetet, only if he accepted upon himself a Nazirut Muetet, which means a small Nazirut of 30 days. But let's say right now he accepted upon himself a Nazirut of 1 year, and his Nazirut was 1 year. Only after 2 years. So it's the same concept. Before we said 60 days, so it's like 2 groups of 30. So now if you do 1 year, so it's 2 groups of 1 year. So you could only eat kochim after 2 years, and you could only drink wine and be mitamim after 4 years for the exact same thing. That means instead of applying it to months, you're applying it to years, but it's exact same concept. Okay. V'tanyala. We also learned in the Mishnah. So we said that you're going to cut your hair 4 times. Tiglachat rishona, the first time you're going to bring tzipurim. The second time you're going to be a chatata of ve'olat be'ema, and the third time you're going to bring chatata of ve'olat be'ema, and the fourth time you're only going to bring a korban tahara. Okay, so basically we are trying to do that. The first time is going to be because of the mitzorah. The second and third time is going to be because of the whether it's going to be the safek, right, of the tumah and everything, and then the last one is going to be korban tahara. Amarta, you're going to tell me tiglachat rishon, maybe you're going to bring tzipurim. Mimanav shach shapir kamaite. It's good, right? Because according to all the sfekot, it's good what you're bringing. Why? Diva dai mitzorahu, but if he's for sure a mitzorah, v'lav tamehu, and he's not tameh, so tzipurim is his chova. The chatata of is only he's going to bring him misafek, okay, because it's maybe he's a nazir tameh. The azla likvura. And therefore, misafek, it's not eaten. It has to be thrown away. Meaning you only bring a misafek. So you bring it, but you're not allowed to eat it. You could only just throw it out. The olah, now the olat be'ema is a nidava, right? And therefore, since it's going to be, because it's like a tanai, whether if he's chayav, and if he's not chayav, so then it's a nidava. Ulgalcho, sof shiva. You're going to take a haircut after, right? 7 days after you've brought these shtet tzipurim. And the first time. So shar the dilmalav mukhlatu. So now here you can't do it because maybe you're not a really be'emet mitzorah mukhlat at all. But Rahman Amar, and the Torah says talo evalurosho ad melot. Okay, so therefore because of that you cannot do the second tiglachat until another 30 days. Yeah, one more time. You're in the middle of the 30 days. Yeah, and now what happens is you become a safek tameh plus safek mitzorah. So now in the middle of those 30 days, you cannot take a haircut. The reason why is because maybe you're not mitzorah or tameh at all. So if you're not mitzorah and tameh at all, you have a dai nezirut. So in the middle of the nezirut, you cannot take a haircut. So after the 30 days, you come and you bring the tzipora, the tziporim, which are the birds, right, as the chovah from the tzarat. Chatat ha'of is a safek, maybe you're tameh, but you cannot eat it, so it has to go likvura. And then the olah is going to be an olah nidava. Right, just in case it was a nidava. If not a nidava, so then it's a chova. Now, you take the haircut after the 30 days. Now, the second time around, you cannot take a haircut, right? Sorry. So after the 30 days, you start the days of mitzorah. And then after 7 days, you come and take a haircut. Now, you cannot come and take a haircut the second time around immediately afterwards. And the reason why, because normally a mitzorah, he's going to cut his hair twice. For the beginning and then at the end. Here, you cannot do that because at the end of the day, maybe he's not a mitzorah vadai. Rahmana says, so therefore, he cannot do the second one until again after 30 days. Okay? So he says, Vilav mitzorah vadai havi. Now, if he's not a mitzorah vadai, vehu tameh, now bemet, he's going to be a tameh. Chatato ha'of chovato. So now the chatat ha'of is a chova. V'tziporim abraika mitavdin, v'lav yichulim azara. So the tzipurim, anyway, because the safek, we only do it on the outside. And when it's not considered chulin lazra, meaning you're not allowed to bring a korban for no reason to the Bet HaMikdash. Now, if you could bring it as a nedava, then yes, because it became a present. Or you could bring it as a t'nai as a nedava, right? But the way that it is here, you cannot just come and do whatever you want. So it says here, Olat Behema is a Nidava. The Olat Behema is going to be a Nidava. Right? Then afterwards, Vilav Mitzorah, Vilav Tameh. What if he was not a Mitzorah, he's not Tameh. So the Tzipurin, again, you're doing it on the outside. Chatata off. Anyway, you're not eating it, you're taking it to the Kvura, which means you're just throwing it out. The Olat Behema, right? And the Olat Behema is going to be his Chovah. So no matter what, right, it's going to be okay. Fine. So ask the Gemara, the Abai Hasham. What about the Hasham, the guilt offering? Right? Remember that a Safek Mitzorah, he's a Safek Mitzorah. So a Mitzorah has to bring a Korban Hasham. He can't just bring a Misafek. So how is he going to eat the kochim without bringing the Hasham? He's lacking in a kapara. Okay? So the Gemara answers, it's Rabbi Shimon the Amar, it's Rabbi Shimon that he says, Mighty umatzne, you could bring even an Hasham, and then what happens? You make a condition. Okay? Fine. So basically you say, if you're a Mitzorah, this is a Hasham, and if not, it's considered Shalmen Nedava, Shlamim. A Shalmen Nedava. Remember, Nedava you could always bring because it's a present. You can't bring usually a Chatat or a Hasham, because an Hasham is a guilt offering. You can't bring a present to Hashem, a guilt offering, or a Chatat or a sin offering. Fine. Next. Now we say Tiglachat Shniya Shlishit, when we're talking about now the second and third haircuts, right? That could only do, you're only going to bring a Chatat off in Olah Bema. Tziporim lo tzarich was here, you don't need a Tziporim. Right? Because you already brought it. Meaning that here you don't need the Mitzorah, because you already brought it if you were a Mitzorah. Right? The Havid. Ma'ika, so then what do you need then? Dilma v'day muchlatu. Maybe by Met he was for sure a Mitzorah. Right? And then he has to bring it the next day. So therefore he comes and he says, Chada l'safek sefaro. So he says over here, the Chatata is going to be for a safek. Right? And maybe it's the end of the 7 days between the first haircut and the second haircut of a Mitzorah. Remember, you have to wait 30 days just because of the technical issue. But really, maybe this is the end of the 7 days of the Mitzorah. V'chada, and one Chatat ha'of you're going to bring for Safek Tumato. Okay, and then at the end, Tiglachat Revi'it, right? At the end of when you're talking about now the fourth haircut, you're going to bring Korban Tahara, right? Which is basically Chatat Olah Nashlamim, Umatzne, and then you're going to make a Tnai on the Korban Ha'olah that you're going to say, Sarech Amud Bet. Right? The Vaday Nazir, who if he's a Vaday Nazir, Ola Rishona Chova. So the first time around, it was a Chova, and this is a Nedava. The Tameh Muchlatu, but if he was Tameh or he was a Mitzorah Muchlat, Ola Rishona was a Nedava, and this is a Chova. And these are the rest of his Korbanot in Manavshach. Okay? Fine. So now it says, Tameh Safek Muchlat Vaday. What happens now, right, on another case? He was tameh safek, means he was mitameh misafek, but he was muchlat vaday. He was for sure a mitzorah. So chel kochin lachash shmona yamim. So what happens is, since here he's a vaday mitzorah, the mitzvah is that he eats kochim immediately after the 8 days, and he could also take a haircut immediately at the end. And the 7th day, right, he's going to come, he's going to do tiklachat shniya. The 8th day, he brings the korbanot and he eats kochim immediately. Now he's not out of a safek nazir tameh. Right? But at least he did the Mitzorah immediately. So then he could do it after 67 days. Everyone understood why? One more time. What was the reason over here? Usually, what is the steps of the Mitzorah? Yeah, you with me? Steps of Mitzorah. First haircut, the 7 days, takes the second haircut. 8th day, he brings Korbanot. Now, if he's for sure a Mitzorah, so he could do that even in the middle of a Nazirut. Now, the only thing is, though, that he's going to need, if he's in the middle of the Nazirut, right, he would need to wait again another 30 days just because there's no Nazirut less than 30 days because you need to take off the hair as well. So if he just did it in the middle, so we're talking about, let's say, for example, you had 30 days, right? He does the Mitzorah process, becomes 37, and then the 8th day, that's why it says that after 8 days of the Mitzorah process, he comes and eats Kodshim again because he could eat Kodshim right afterwards, okay? Fine. Now what happens? He's a doubt whether he's tameh or not. So if he's a doubt whether he's tameh, so maybe it broke the first Nazirut. So now he needs a new Nazirut of 30 days. So that's only after 67 days, which is the extra 30 days of the Nazirut, just in case Bemet he was tameh. And again, you had the days of the Mitzorah, which don't count, right, in this case. So therefore, only after 67 days will he be able to come and eat, will become tamemet and drink wine. Okay? Says the Gemara, what happens now if he's muchlat nisafek, meaning I don't know if he became a Mitzorah for sure, but he for sure became tameh vadai. So he's going to eat kodshim after 37 days, right? And he's going to drink wine after, right? And to become metamel after 74 days, which is basically on the 75th day. How did this work? Because since he's not for sure a Mitzorah, so he has to wait the 7 days after he became the Tamemet. The 8th day is going to come and take a haircut, or like a Mitzorah, or like a Nazir Tameh. He brings the Chatat off and everything, and then he's going to do the second 30 days, right? He's going to bring the second 30 days. Yeah, so he does 30 for the Nazir. He does 7 because of the Tum'ah, right? And he does a Tiglachat. Remember, he's cutting his hair and everything again, but he cannot cut his hair the second time around, right? That means why? Because it means even though he did it because maybe he's also a Mitzorah, but now he still has to wait then. So therefore, what happens is he does the second 30, so it becomes 67, and then another 7 days, right, for the Safek Mitzorah. So therefore, it's going to become 67 and 7. It's going to be 75. Third case, yeah, Nazir Tameh, right, Vadai, and Muchlab Vadai. What happens if for sure everything was done? Meaning, he's a Nazir, but he became Tameh Vadai and a Mitzorah Vadai. So he says, "Ochel bekochim lachar shmona yamim." We eat kochim after 8 days. Okay, that means that after the first time you cut a haircut, you're allowed to eat kochim after 8 days, right? But you're only going to be drinking wine or being metameh metim after 44 days. Okay, because basically you have to do the 30 days of Nizirut plus 7 because of Mitzorah and 7 because of Tamemet. That's going to be the 44, right? Okay. So he comes and he says, right, as following. Shalu talmidav edem Shimon bar Yochai. So the students asked Shimon bar Yochai, Nazir tahor u'mitzorah mahu sheigalech tiglachat achat. When you have a Nazir tahor, when you have a mitzorah, can they do one hair cutting and it's going to be both? No. Also for the Nazir? Okay. Also the Nazir and also for the first one for the mitzorah. So it says Gemara Malehen eno megaleach, right? Which means that he needs two separate haircuts. Amru lo lama. They told him why.
At what time?
No, after the 30 days.
There's no.
But again, by a mitzorah, you don't need hair. It's only by a nazir that you need minimum of 30 days hair in order to take a haircut. By a mitzorah, forget about nazirut. A person becomes a mitzorah today, he takes a haircut today, and then at the end of the 7 days. So that you don't need the 30 days in the middle. It's only by a nazir that you need the 30 days in the middle. Okay? So Amar lehen, so he told them, what's the reasoning? Ilu ze legadel v'ze legadel. If both of them, the obligation was to grow the hair, or the opposite, both of them was to take off the hair, then you could combine the two together. But the fact that the Nazir is to take off the hair, and there's no mitzvah anyway to be megadel the hair, and the mitzorah, he's now obligated to grow the hair after the first tiglachat, so therefore it's not the same thing. Meaning the purpose of each haircut was different. When you finished the Nazirut and you took a haircut, Kaddish, that's it. You don't have a mitzvah anymore to grow the hair. By the mitzorah, when you take the first haircut, it's in order to grow the hair properly until the next 7 days in order to see what's going on. So therefore, what is lahavir, which means to remove hair, and what is legadel, to make hair grow? So it's not the same reason. So if it's not the same reasoning, it's not going to help. Right? So he says, and not only that, the Nazirut is not going to help for the Yimei Chaluto, right? Because the Tiglachat is legadel, and the other one is lahavir. But it's going to help him for the days in between, right? So is that going to happen? And he told them, if both of them were done before the sprinkling of the blood, then it's true. The mitzorah, the haircut is done before you're sprinkling the blood, because you take the haircut on the 7th day, and the korban is only on the 8th day. The nazir is only after the sprinkling of the blood, meaning you bring the korbanot, and after you bring the korbanot, now you take the haircut. So there's a difference also when you take the haircut, before the sprinkling of the blood of the korban, or after the sprinkling of the blood of the korban. The mitzorah, everything is done before.
So the first one is for the mitzvah.
Yes, the first one was the mitzorah. The second one,
the shave is for the mitzvah.
in which case? ולא תעלה לו לימד סירתו ומזירותו, ותעלה לו לימד סירתו וטומאתו. It says the Gemara, 1 second. The students keep on asking Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, why don't we just say that the first tiglachat, right, the first haircut, should help him, right? Because since it's before the zrikat tamim, and this one's after zrikat tamim, ta'aleh limet tzarato v'tumato, it should still help him for the tiglachat, for nazir shenitzma met, right? Because also a nazir tameh is also is before the zrikat damim, just like a mitzorah. Meaning, if you're comparing it always, when do you sprinkle the blood? The nazir tameh is exactly like a mitzorah. It's like a nazir tahor. Nazir tahor is done after the sprinkling of the blood. Nazir tameh is done before the sprinkling of the blood. So nazir tameh should be like the mitzorah then, and it should count. Elmaleh, he told them, which one is done before the mikveh and after the mikveh? He says the mitzorah, you're taking it before the mikveh, right? The nazir is only, right? He says, before the mikveh, and this one is going to be before, that's fine. Then you're right. But the nazir tameh, he first goes to the mikveh, and then he cuts off his hair. The mitzorah is even before he went into the mikveh. So therefore, the tiglachat does not help for both of them together. Meaning, if you guys realize each one of them, we keep on deferring it, because we keep on saying, since there's a difference in the essence of how it's done, so you cannot do a 2-for-1. 2-for-1 is if it's for the same object. You buy 2, you get 1. You understand? But here it's not a 2-for-1 because they're intrinsically different. Whether it's because of when do you sprinkle the blood, whether it's because of when do you go to the mikveh, whether it's because of that, what's the purpose of the haircut, and so on and so forth. So Amrulo, so they told them, yeah, right? Amrulo, they told them, so I understand. I understand it's going to be beautiful that you're going to tell me that the mitzorah is not going to help because it's done before the zrikat tamim, and the nazir is going to be done after zrikat tamim. But what about the tiglachat rishona mitzorah and the tiglachat of a nazir tameh, which they're both before zrikat tamim, and there's no difference in what's the reasoning of the hair. Each one is to make the hair long. Marla, and he told them, nazir taor v'gam v'hu mitzorah. If he's a nazir taor and he's a mitzorah, one of them is to grow the hair. Right, which means the mitzorah, the first time is in order to grow the hair, and the nazir tahor is in order to take off the hair. The nazir tameh, the mitzorah, if he's going to be a nazir tameh and a mitzorah, so it's lifnei biyat mayim, zelachar b'mayim. This is before he went into the mikveh. This is after he went into the mikveh. So Tani, so Rabbi Chia taught, ze lifnei biyat mayim, zelachar biyat mayim. This is before the coming of the water. Right, this is before you're going into the mikveh, and this is after going to the mikveh. Ze lifnei zikat tamim, zelachar zikat tamim. And that means the mitzorah, it's before coming into the mikveh, and the nazir tameh is after going into the mikveh. The mitzorah is before the zrikat tamim, and nazir tahor is going to be after zrikat tamim. We stop by the 2 dots over here.